بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. So today we are starting off Sarf from the basics, from the beginning, so that we can build that foundation. And as we build up on that, the foundation is stable and strong enough to withhold whatever else we are going to put on top of it. And I'm going to try my best to make it as enjoyable, as easy as possible. I know this is a tough task ahead of me, but inshallah, we'll make it work. We'll see how far we can get. So today we start with Sarf. Sarf basically means to turn, to morph, to change. These are some of the meanings of Sarf. In English, Sarf is called morphology. You know, the way the words change, the way the words turn. That is Sarf, basically. So there are two kinds of words in Arabic. You have sarfifiable words, that's my own term, and unsarfifiable words. Words that can be sarfified and words that cannot be sarfified. In Arabic, the Arabic terms for unsarfifiable words is jamid, and the Arabic term for sarfifiable words is mushtaq. Okay, so basically unsarfifiable words are words like what? Words like door, bab. You can't like make it baba ya boo boo bab. No, there's nothing like that. You can't do that. So bab, door, is a door. Shajara, shajara is a tree. You can't be shajara yashjuru shujura. You can't do that. Or shajara, or put it in one of the families and do sarf. No, a tree is a tree. A rock is a rock. You know, you don't derive it from something else. So that's the whole idea of sarf. Sarf is words that can be derived from each other. If I know one particular word, I can be able to morph it, to turn it into another word. So that's the whole idea of sarf. Mushtaq, on the other hand, these are words that I can be able to derive it. If you give me the root letters, I can be able to derive it and come up with a word. So that's just the introduction. Now let's look at what the jizr is and what the wazn is. You probably know these terms. I'm just repeating them for the sake of revision. Jizr, these are the root letters. It could be 3 root letters. It could be 4 root letters. It could be 5 root letters. Although we're not going to go into so much details in the 4 root letter words and the 5 root letter words, we're going to mostly focus on the 3 root letter words. So that's what jizr means, root letter words. Wazn, this is the container or the shape the word turns into, the word sarfifies into. Okay, that container. So let's do a simple. So for example, I want you to imagine this many shapes that you can see in front of you. So you have a square, you have a circle, you have a triangle, all these different shapes are there, right? So if I take a particular paint, I'm using color pink here because we're all pretty girls and we love pink, and I paint it into the circle, what will be the shape of the paint? The shape of the paint will be a circle. If I put it in this diamond shape here, it's the same color, it's still pink, but I put it in this container and now it's diamond. I take the same paint, put it in a triangle, and the shape of the paint is triangle. Put it in an oval shape, same difference. Okay, square shape or rectangle shape, same difference. Basically what we're saying is, if you take the paint, which is the jizr, the root letter words, and you pour it into whatever container you're going to pour it, it's going to take the shape of the container. I think that was physics at some point. Don't remember. But yeah. So if you take the liquid, pour it into the container, it's going to take the shape of the container. That's basically sarf. Take the jizr, put it in this container, and it just morphs. It turns into that shape. So now let's look at identifying the awzan. How do we identify these shapes? When I use these words awzan, basically I'm trying to train you to hear these words so that you can be familiar with them, because these are the words that are used in books. These are the words that you're going to encounter them in books. So how do we identify this awzan, these different shapes? Now, when you look at a word in Arabic, you have a word appears in this type of form: fa, ayn, and lam. Okay, this is how the jizr will look like. You have 3-letter jizr, so 3 letters: fa letter, ayn letter, and lam letter. So the fa letter, this is the first letter, That's the fa letter. The ayn letter is the middle letter, and the lam letter is the last letter. So this is how we're going to look at the different jither in different words. Okay. So once you understand fa, ayn, and lam, then we can look at now how words are being identified in Arabic. So words are identified in Arabic based on the madi pattern, the past tense, the madi pattern, and the masdar pattern. Masdar, you know what a masdar is. Honestly, I don't have to translate a masdar. So you can either say this word is in the wazn of madi, or this word is in the wazn of masdar. So for example, let's look at some examples that we must learn in this sarf. We have to memorize, by the way, all this stuff. So that's going to be your homework if you haven't memorized already. So we have a word like nasara. We don't say it is ala bab nasara. Most of the time, okay, you might find that actually because family one is a bit different. So you will see fa'ala ala wazni fa'ala, which is like nasara. See how the jither is morphing and turning like the way the container is? The container is fa'ala. So you take noon, sad, and ra, put it in that container of fa'ala. Then instead of noon, sad, and ra, now you have nasara. You have fataha, fa'ala. Take fa, ta, and ha, put it there, fataha. And all these are family one. So in family one, we have 6 families. So we have the Nasara family, we have the Fataha family, Daraba family, Sami'a family, Hasiba family, and Karuma family. These are families you just have to memorize. Although some families, if you look at some books, they might use, instead of Daraba, they might use Jalasa, Jalasa yajlisu. They might use slightly different, but as long as you understand how the container works, the container is still fa'ala, okay, in the madi. Or you can use the masdar. And the masdars of family ones are so diverse, so I don't prefer to use the masdar. Or actually, they don't prefer to use the masdar. So they mostly use the madi. Okay, so that's family one. And again, you have to also be familiar with the numbers because you will see these numbers a lot, either in Roman numerals or in Arab numerals, Arabic numerals. So it's either going to be I, or 2 eyes, or 3 eyes, or it's going to be 1, 2, 3 like we know it. So either way, you have to know both. So when I say family 1, your head has to go to Nasara, Fataha, Daraba, Sami'at, Hasiba, Karuma immediately when I say family 1. When I say family 2, your head has to automatically go to the 2 shaddas, Allama, right? So you see Allama is shadda here. So when I say family 2, your mind goes to Allama. And Allama, the container is fa'ala. Or you can use the masdar taf'il, because we know that the family of Allama is Allama yu'allimu ta'liman. That's where the masdar is. فهو معلم, علم يعلم تعليما, فهو معلم. And we'll look at the sarf saghir shortly. So that's Allama. Then of course family 3 is Jahada. So I've arranged them according to the numbers. So you have family 1, which is the small families. We're going to talk a little bit about the small families also. Then you have Allama, which is family 2. And then you have Jahada, which is family 3. So Ala Bab, Fa'ala, or Fi'al, because Jahada has 2 masdars. So it could also be Bab, or the container is Fi'al, or Mufa'alatan. These are the 2 masdars of Jahada. I think it's easier to just say Jahada or Fa'ala, but also remember that it is family number 3. Then you have Aslama. Aslama is the 4th family. So family number 4, Af'ala, Aslama. You can hear how it's morphing into that container. Or it could be Bab If'alan, Islaman. See? If'alan. So sarf is about the sounds. You really need to be keen on the sounds and how the sounds morph into the container, how it rhymes. Then you identify, all right, this is from Aslama family. Aslama, af'ala, yani islaman, if'alan. Then you get it. Then you have number 5. Family 5 is ta'allama. Okay, so the next shadda family, ta'allama. It comes after aslama, then ta'allama. And this, of course, either it's going to be either tafa'ala or تفعلا. باب تفعل or باب تفعلا. And that's also going to be bab number 5. Or when I say bab, I mean family. Okay? You're going to hear me say bab a lot. Don't be like, what is this door? Why she keeps saying door? I'm not talking about a door to your bedroom. I'm talking about the family. Okay? So this is family 5. تعلم. Then you have family 6. تفاعل or تفاعلا, which is either تعاون or تساءل, or any one of those families that starts with a ta and has an alif in the middle. That would be تعاون, تساءل, تفاعل. Or the master, تفاعلا, تساؤلا. Yes, Arisha, you have a question? You raised your hand?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, I have a question. So when we identify a word that belongs to Nasara family as ala, bab, fa'ala, wouldn't that be confusing because fa'ala could also be daraba and fataha?
Yes. So this is what we do. This normally in family 1, they don't really use fa'ala or fa'ila or fa'ula. They might mention it, but normally they just use these words. But like I said, in some books you would find that maybe daraba, they use a different word. Or in some other programs, they might use jalasa yajlisu. So you'd be like, but Ustaz told us daraba. Where is daraba? I can't see daraba. Yeah, you just have to understand it's fa'ala yaf'ilu. So anything that matches fa'ala yaf'ilu, whichever word it could be, different programs would use different words because family 1 is basically, it's like you have to use these words. You have to use the specific words. You can't just use fa'ala because it might be a bit confusing. Yeah. So just know that the container, if you read somewhere and they're saying this is jalasa yajlisu, then you know this is daraba yadribu, the way we learned it, and it's fa'ala yaf'ilu, same family, I understand. So that's just basically the concept. But you're right, yeah, it can be confusing if you use just fa'ala. Thank you for that. All right. Then we have family 7. Family 7, this usually people forget about it because it's not really common. It's not used a lot in fa'ala. And it's mostly, it has the meaning of lazim, like it has the meaning of you're the one doing the action. So, and because it's not used a lot, people tend to forget it. If I ask somebody what's family 7, they're like, what's family 7? I don't know. So yeah, take a note. People are going to forget this family because it's not used a lot. It's the family with the noon, right? It's inqalaba. It's the only family that's going to have a permanent noon. Okay, so if the other families don't have a permanent noon, this family has a permanent noon. انفعل ينفعل. So انفعال, it could either be bab انفعال, so انقلب ينقلب. That's how we memorized when Ustad was teaching us. And then we have family 8. Okay, so family 8, this is a pretty common one. If اقترب, that's how we memorized it, اقترب. And this is the bab افتعل or افتعالا. افتعل or افتعالا. So that's after انفعل, you have افتعل. انقلب, then اقترب. If these words are a bit hard to memorize, then you can just arrange them according to this order. And then you will know what's family 1, what's family 2, and what's family 3. Because these numbers are really, really important for you guys to know. Otherwise, looking up words in the dictionary might be a bit difficult to know which family we are talking about. So these numbers are very, very important. And then we have family 9. Okay, so family 9 is also another family that people don't even talk about because, it's just a family of colors. Nothing really happens much here except colors or weaknesses. Like if somebody is blind in one eye, we would say a'war. It would be like this family. So a'warra, he became blind. So it either talks about colors or deficiencies or defects, or I don't want to call them defects, but yeah, you get my point. Like disabilities. Disabilities is a better word. So either it's going to be colors or disabilities. This is the family of family 9. Then family 10. This is istaghfara, yastaghfiru. That's the family we memorized. So istaf'ala, yastaf'ilu. Istaf'ala, yastaf'ilu. That is basically the families we memorized or we learned. These are not the only families, by the way. There are about 36 families. we just learned 10. But these 10, they are the most common and they're the most used and they're the most important for our studies in the Quran. The other ones appear in the Quran as well, but maybe like 1 or 2 words. And Ustad said when we get to those words, we will talk about those words. But for now, these are the main ones. And even the bab, the one for colors is not even that much. Somebody has a question?
Yes. Do you know the bab number 9-1? Did we do this with the start?
I think he just skipped over it, but it's mentioned in the book a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can go through the notes in the textbook. It's
Okay.
mentioned a little bit. Yeah. So this is the book, the bab. Oh, let me explain that a little bit because I know I just cruised over it. So you have a word like ihmarra. Hamra is basically color red. Okay. So ihmarra is like it became red. When you're talking about something like ihmarra, it became red. So this is the family you used. Or iswadda, it became black. Sauda is black, but iswadda, it became black. Ibyadda, bayda, or it means white. So ibyadda, it became white. So it became that color. You're talking about something becoming a particular color. This is this family. Or a deficiency or a disability happening to somebody. This is the family you would use. Somebody got a disability. That's this family 9 is what you would use. It's very, we are going to see throughout Sarf that it doesn't go through any changes. It just remains ihmarra, yahmarru, ihmiraran, fahuwa muhmarrun. And maybe I will make some points when we finish Sarf just to look at the table, the Sarf Kabir or the Sarf Saghir of just this family alone. Because I think it's not even a big deal, really, in the study of the Quran. It happens very, very later. Right, so let's look at family members. We talked about families, family 1 through 10. But these families, they have family members inside of them, right? It's not just family 10, istighfar, and that's it. No, it has family members. Like, what are the family members? And these family members, we have 2 kinds of family members. I want you to imagine like it's your family. You have a nuclear family and you have an extended family, right? So the nuclear family is just you and your family, your closest people, your brothers, sisters, father, mother, stuff. Yeah, that's the small family. And then you have extended family, which is the big family. But the thing is, in Arabic, the small family is actually bigger than the extended family. You know, when you have extended family, your cousins are more than your brothers and sisters. But in Arabic, it's the opposite. Your brothers and sisters are more than your cousins. So the small family is actually bigger than the big family. Is that right? Can you imagine that? I don't want to confuse you, but I want you to understand, like, the small family has more family members, has more brothers and sisters than the big family, than your cousins. Okay? So, and that, the family members are actually called saygha. This is the Arabic word, saygha. Okay? So they're called, the big family, they're called big, but they're actually very few in numbers. So there are very few cousins up in here, which makes it very, very easy to understand and predict, which is awesome. But they're only called big because their containers are big. Remember we talked about containers and shapes? So they have really big containers. In other words, they have really big mouths. When you invite them home, they eat a lot. So that's the idea. Big because they have big containers and therefore they take more letters. They take more room. But they're actually fewer in number. Then you have the small families, which are your like brothers and sisters. And these ones, they're way more than your cousins, but they're smaller. They eat less. So it's good. It's good subdivision of resources here. All right. So let's look at Sarf Saghir. What is Sarf Saghir? In other words, the small Sarf. The small Sarf, it has 2 lines and maybe like 1 more tiny line. And we've memorized this. So we've memorized, like when we are doing, for example, ذهب يذهب ذهبا فهو ذاهب. That will be the first line. So that one is for active. We know who's doing it. You're the one doing it, or he's the one doing it. We know exactly who's doing it. So ذهب, he went. يذهب, he's going. ذهبا, to go. فهو ذاهب, which is the isim fa'il over here. Oops, I need to fix that pen. That's not going to work. Let's make red. Okay. So yeah. So اسم فاعل ذاهب, right? And then you go to the second line, which is now the passive line. We don't know who's doing it. Of course, we can't use ذهب. Let's pick another family. So علم, we'll use علم. It's easier. The big families are easier. So علم يعلم تعليما فهو معلم. علم, he taught. يعلم, he teaches. تعليما, to teach. فهو عالم. فهو معلم, sorry. فهو معلم. He is a teacher. Then now you come to the passive line. We don't know who's doing it. You remember the first line I talked about? He teaches. He to teach. He's a teacher. We know who's doing it. But then you come to the passive line. We don't know who's doing it. Okay? So you have علم. He was taught. By who? We don't know. يعلم. He is being taught. By who? Again, we don't know. تعليما, masdar remains masdar. And then معلم, the one being taught. By who? Again, we don't know. We just know the one being done to. So here we're talking about the one done to, the passive line. So that's part of the sarf kabir, sarf صغير. Then we have these 3 lines here. So والأمر منه, and the command. والنهي عنه, the forbidding. والظرف منه, the place and time of the action happening. So time and place of something, or the action rather. So that's basically, when you talk about sarf صغير, this is the format you're talking about. And I know you have memorized this stuff. So we're just going over that. Now, you see, with the big families, these are the only members. Yeah? So these are the only members restricted to this number of members. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 members only. So you have only 11 cousins. It's never going to be more. It's never going to be less. But then when you come to your brothers and sisters, your parents keep giving birth. I don't know what's happening there. So you have more brothers and sisters. Yeah, that's just happened. So you have this 11, plus you have اسم صفا, you have اسم آلة, you have اسم تفضيل, you have اسم تصغير, اسم مبالغة, اسم ذا, اسم that, اسم this. You have so many isms. Yeah, and your parents were not so creative. They called all of them isms. They're all isms. Ism this, ism that, ism that. So your brothers and sisters, basically, so many more, so much more. Yeah, I hope that's a bit clear on why small families are small, but they're more. Big families are big, but they're actually less. Yeah, they only have big containers. All right, so let's look at some tricks. Some tricks to identify words very, very fast. Okay. So if you see a fatha on the ain letter, remember we talked about fa, a, and la. Fa, a, la. So the ain letter, this is the one we're talking about. If you see a fatha on the ain letter in the madi, like nasara, fataha, dharaba, then that's going to be either nasara. By the way, we are talking about small families here, and then we'll talk about big families. So we're looking at the tricks to identify words in small families first. Okay. So in small families, if you see a fatha on the ain letter, it could be either 3 options. Could either be nasara, could either be fatha, or it could be daraba. So at least it narrows down. From 6 families, now we have 3. Okay. If you see a kasra on the ain letter in the madi, so fa, la, fa, la. Okay. Kasra. You only have 2 options. It could either be sami'a or hasiba. And Ustad said if it's, a tie, if you're looking at either between sami'a and hasiba, most likely it's sami'a. 99.99% is sami'a. That's what he said, right? Most likely it's going to be sami'a. Hasiba, rarely used. So in other words, if you see a kasra on the ain letter, go with sami'a. Unless you find out that it's wrong, then yeah, that's the 0.001%. Then if you see a dhamma on the ain letter, in other words, fa'ula, you have only one option. There's no room for anything else here. It's pretty straightforward. Fa'ula is karuma family, okay? And it's not really used. I think one of the most commonly used here word is kabura, to grow up, to grow old. Kabura, to grow old. That's like the only one that I'm familiar with most of the time. Right. Then you have, if you see a fatha on the ain letter, let me clear this up a bit. Oopsie. You're going too far.
Excuse me, can I just ask you, are these your own notes or are these from the book?
No, these are my own notes. Because the book, you already have the book. You can read on your own.
Yes.
So I just wanted to simplify things.
Okay. Would you be sharing these notes with us?
Yeah, I could share them.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So then you have now we go to the mudari. So if you have a fatha on the ain letter in the mudari, present tense, then it could either be fataha or sami'a. So if you see yaftahu, yaftahu. You see a fatha there. So it's either fataha or yasma'u. So yasma'u. So it could either be one of those two. And again, Ustad said, if it's a tie between fataha and sami'a, 99.99% is going to be sami'a. Okay? So just go with sami'a. It's more common, in other words, than fataha, right? If you see a kasra on the ain letter in the mudari', then it's either between daraba and hasiba. So for example, yadribu, so ri, that's what we're looking at, or yahsibu. Sibu. And again, if you're looking between yadribu and yahsibu, it's going to be yadribu because that happens 99.99% of the time. So that we know that. So in other words, just look at what is read and that's what you go with. Okay, it's easier that way. And then if you see a dhamma on the mudari, is the same as it gives you two options. Sorry, either is going to be nasara, yansuru. You get that suru? That's a dhamma on the ain letter, or karuma yakrumu, that u on the ain letter as well. And again, if it's between karuma and nasara, it's going to be nasara. Okay, unless it's not, but most of the time it's going to be nasara. It's just great. Now the other thing is, it's really important to understand the containers and how, again, train your ears to hear this. So if you hear something that rhymes with fa'ilun, dharibun, fatihun, sami'un, hasibun, you know, all that, you hear that, it matches, rhymes with isim fa'il, then it's in fa'il. It's just that simple. If it rhymes with isim fa'il, it's isim fa'il. If it rhymes with isim maf'ul, it's isim maf'ul. So madrubun, maftuhun, masmu'un, mansubun, majzumun, majrurun, marfu'un. Yeah? So if it rhymes with maf'ulun, isim maf'ul. Those are easy, very easy to identify, especially in the small families. If it's in the small families and has a ma in the beginning, ma, most likely, and I'm saying most likely, don't quote me and be like, oh, you said ma, so I found this word, it's a ma, but it's a masdar. I said most likely, okay? If it has a ma in the beginning, most likely is a dharf, okay? Madhrabun, masjidun, maftahun, masma'un, all this, like if it has a ma, most likely is a dharf. Maftahun wa maftihun wa maftahatun. All they have is ma. Maftahun, maftihun, maftahatun. Right? All of it is ma beginning. If it has a me beginning, most likely, again, most likely, guys, don't bring me a word and be like, you said, no, most likely is going to be isim ala. Okay? So, miftahun, midrabun, mif'alun, which other word? Misbahun, you know, all this me, ala, isim ala. Now, the masdar will often, not all the time, not 100%, but if you're looking at an irregular word, and we're going to look at irregular sarf, if you're looking at an irregular word and you're looking at the masdar will often tell you the jazr. It will tell you the three letters in that. in the root letters. And once you have the root letters, then it's easy to do sarf. So those are some tricks about the small families. Okay. So let's look at some tricks when it comes to the big families. Now I want to shift. Think about the big families. Think about the cousins now. Okay. they're few in number, but they have big mouths. They have big containers. Okay. So when you see a mu and a on the ain letter, so mu a. By the way, disclaimer, we're going to talk about a lot of monkey sounds. This is what I call them. These are monkey sounds. We're going to be like mu 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 e. You're going to be making a lot of those monkey sounds in order to understand Arabic and in order to understand Sarf. So be ready to be weird. Be ready to make some monkey sounds. So mu a, that's our first monkey, or rather actually like our fifth monkey sound. I don't know. So mu a, monkey sound. When you see mu plus a fatha, that's an isim maf'ul or a dharf in the big family. So isim maf'ul or a dharf. Mu'a. Mu'i, for example, let me do some examples. Mu'a. So muslimun, mu'allamun. You see the fatha there? Mujahadun, mustaghfarun, mu'a, mustaghfarun. Then you have mu'i. Again, another monkey sound. Mu'i, mu'i. Okay, mu'i, e on the ain letter. This is going to be an isim fa'il. So muslimun, mu'allimun, mujahidun, mutasa'ilun. So that e, mu'i, that's going to tell you this is an isim fa'il. Then you have a shadda on the ain letter. If you see a shadda, first of all, automatically you're thinking of two families. If you see a shadda, either going to be allama family or ta'allama family, straight away. So which one am I going to pick? Where is the shadda? That's the question you ask yourself. The shadda is on the ain letter. Okay, fine. Does it have anything else? No. This is the allama family, i.e. family number 2. If it has a ta beginning and a shadda on it, remember when you see shadda, you look at two families. You think two families. I'm thinking allama or I'm thinking ta'allama. Is there a ta in the beginning? If there's a ta and then there's a shadda, definitely family 5. Definitely ta'allama family. Then you have a hamza written like this. It has to be written like this. It has to have a crown at the top, right? Oops, where did I go? Sorry. Yeah, it has to be written like this. It has to have a crown on the top. There's an alif and the hamza is sitting pretty on the top. That's how it has to be written. If you don't see the hamza there, crowning the alif, then this is not what we're talking about. So a hamza with a crown on top plus a sukoon on the fa letter. Whatever comes after it is going to be the fa letter. The first letter, remember? If you see a hamza and a sukoon, that sound, again, another monkey sound. If you're reading something and it's like as, af, ab, at, whatever sound you're making, and that's a madi, then that's definitely aslama family. That's family number 4. So aslama, yeah. And then we have, if you have alif after the fa letter, immediately after the fa letter, you see the first letter is jim, then you have an alif, and this is the madi, then this is definitely jahada. Or if you see alif in the second letter in the mudara, that's going to be jahada. Okay, so this is the alif family. This is the first alif family. So we have 2 shadda families, we have 2 alif families. That's going to be important because that's how we're going to identify them in Sarf. Alif families, shadda families. So the first alif family is jahada, which is family number 3. If you see a ta, then with an alif after the fa letter, then this is tasa'ala family, which is family 6. So the arrangement is that you have allama, which is the shadda family, then followed by aslama, which is the sukoon family, is also called the hamza family. Then you have jahada, it's allama, jahada, aslama, ta'allama, then tasa'ala. So the 2 tas, they follow each other. Ta'allama, then tasa'ala, family 5 and family 6. Then if you see a word starting with ist, you see ist anywhere in that sentence, and then followed by 3 letters, that's going to be istaghfara. It's a clear-cut giveaway if you see ist. Okay. By the way, it has to have 3 letters after it. If it only has 2 letters, it could be family 8, could be iqtaraba. So that you have to be careful here a little bit. But most of the time, if you see ist, like 99.99%, it's going to be istaghfar. Again, these tricks are not set in stone. They might work 99.9%, not all the time. If you see e plus a sukun, then it's going to be either two families. Again, inqalaba, like we said, in qalaba, or iqtaraba, family 7 or family 8. And again, we mentioned that family 7 is not used a lot. So between inqalaba and iqtaraba, it's going to be iqtaraba, right? It's going to be iqtaraba. All right, I want us to just look at a little bit about something to do with iqtaraba. Okay, so iqtaraba has something special that happens to it. It's called idgham. So this is when iqtaraba, when you have the fa letter being one of these letters. Okay, so when you have these letters, sad, ta, the, da, and za, on the fa letter in this family 8, iqtaraba, some odd stuff starts happening, okay? Or the letter before ta, basically, which is the fa letter. Okay, so the fa letter. So the letter before ta, which is the fa letter, if it's a sad, then, you know, the Arabs, they care about the pronunciation so much. So they want to make it easy to pronounce. So sad, when I say sad, is a very heavy, I have to like frown a little bit and make my mouth round. It's a very heavy letter when I say sad. But when I say ta, ta is a happy letter. It's like sunshine, ta. It's very happy, very jovial. So the Arabs don't like to mix such letters when it's so heavy and then you mix it with a very happy. Like you cannot frown and at the same time smile. But you know, it's weird. So what they do is when you have a frowning letter like sad, followed by a smiling letter like ta, they would change the smiling letter. For some reason, they prefer to be gloomy. So they would change the smiling letter into a gloomy letter, into a frowning letter. So, like for example, you have sad, like you have this word, it's supposed to be istabara. It's even hard to read, istabara. But they were like, no, get rid of these smiles. This is a heavy, serious word. We're gonna make it istabara. See that? Like it's both frowning and it's both heavy. Istabara. That's what we're gonna have. Istabara. So sometimes when you look at these words and you're like, which family is this? I can't identify this family. There's no ta, it's not iqtaraba, there's no noon, it's not inqalaba, it's not istaghfara. What is happening? Yeah, the ta, they changed it into a ta. So ta became ta, just to make it frown. Yes, Maimuna?
Assalamu alaikum. So if we come across such a word and we are not able, like we are looking for the root word, so we have to figure that out, that it won't be like it will have ta in the original letter.
Yeah, so the ta, either way, the ta is part of the container. So they're just changing the container a little bit. Like maybe the shape was bent a
Okay,
little bit, so they're just changing it a bit to make it easier to pronounce. So ta
okay.
is never
So
part of the jizr.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
even
So
the ta. Yeah.
it's just related to the pronunciation.
Yeah, just to make it easier to speak. Because, you know, Arabic is
Okay.
a language that is being hard, so they had to hear it, and they frowned every time they're hearing this one, they're like, no, that's awkward. We don't want to hear that. We want to hear
Okay.
either it's going to be frowning all the way or it's going to be happy all the way. And for some reason, they chose
Okay.
frown. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's istabara. And then you have bod. Again, you can hear the bod, very heavy. And most of us cannot really pronounce this because it's a very strange letter. But you have to get it right. Practice this letter until you can get it right, because it's important in Arabic language, and especially in the Quranic studies, that you learn how to pronounce these letters the right way. Okay. So bod, very heavy letter, followed by ta. You can't even say it. You would choke in the process trying to say this word. So the Arabs are like, you know what? Make it, you know, forceful, make it heavy, make it easy to say. You're like, oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds about right. But is taraba? No, doesn't sound right. Okay. Then you have a ta. Now with a ta, if you have a ta and a ta, that can go. So there are two ways what happens is you replace it with a ta and it gets a shadda. Okay, so it tarada. It's very hard to say. It tarada. So what they do, they just merged. They changed it first. They changed this ta into a ta. Now you have two tas. What do? Put them together, merge them, and you get a shadda. So it tarada. So you get it tarada. Then you have vad. Sorry, not vad, but va. So you have va. Again, another heavy letter. Va. So you have إذ تلم. إذ تلم. The Arabs are like, it's going to take forever to just say this one word, إذ تلم, in a sentence. And imagine you're doing sarf of this word, إذ تلم, يذتلم. You probably choke yourself doing that. So they're like, no, this doesn't work. Replace the ta, put a dha. Either you can do a dha so that it becomes a shadda, or you can put a ta, replace the ta with a ta. So those are two ways. Although the most famous one is just to use a shadda. You can see even my Microsoft does not recognize this word, basically. It underlined it. But the word is there. You can either use dha or a ta. Ta is more dha is more common in this case. Okay, so you will have either إذ ظلم or إذ طالما. Okay, then you have ذال. Again with ذال, same thing with happening to dha. ذال, it can either have another ذال and becomes a shadda on it, or you use da. So da is closer to ta, and it can easily replace da. It's easier to say. So for example, you have إذ تخر. It's very difficult to say. So the Arabs are like, you know what, take out this ta, replace it with a da. Yeah, but now we have a problem. We have إذ دخر. Still difficult to say. So they killed the sukun, because sukun is considered a weak letter. So the letter with the sukun dies, then you remain with da. So you have iddakhara. That's how you get this word, iddakhara. This is a word that is actually used in the Quran. So it's important to know such words, by the way. And then you have, for example, another word, إذ takara. Very difficult to say, إذ takara. So they were like, no, take out the ta, replace it with a dha. Okay, now we have a problem. إذ ذكر? No. Replace it with a da. Then we have another problem. We have إذ ذكر? No. So they came up with either iddakhara or idhakara. So either you put a sukun, a shadda on the dal, or a shadda on the dal. Either you make dal double or you make dal double. Both words work. And this one Microsoft recognized. So that's good. So you can either say iddakhara or idhakara. Again, this is a word that happens in the Quran, both of them. So it's important to know those words. We have dal. When you have two dals, again, shadda comes in. So idta'a, no, that's too hiccupy, too weird, too awkward. Not good monkey sounds. They love monkey sounds, don't have a problem with monkey sounds, but they don't like disgusting sounds. And we're going to talk about monkey sounds and disgusting sounds. So they don't like this these are disgusting sounds. Okay, idta'a, no, it's so difficult, right? So they were like, okay, idda'a, so difficult to say. So they merged it and it became idda'a. They're like, idda'a, that works. And then you have za or zay. When you have zay, like is tajara, like no, this cannot work. Disgusting. So we're gonna take out the ta, replace it with a dal. It's gonna be is dajara. Is dajara. Easy to say. Easy is dajara. Nice. So those are just some of the letters that you know you need to watch out for in this family number 8. Okay, that was all I had prepared for the introduction version. Yes, Maimuna?
Okay, so I have a little confusion. For example, the last example is the jara. So when we are searching, what will be the jizr here?
Za. Oh, this one, yeah. Za, jim,
Yes.
and ra. Remember, the ta is just being replaced by another easier to sound letter. It's not part of the root.
Okay. Okay, okay, okay.
All the tas.
Sister Ilham,
Yeah,
okay, all the tars are just part of the uh,
container.
container. Okay.
Yeah.
Sister, I have another question.
Uh-huh.
When when I'm searching for the other families, like all the three-letter families are easy to search, but
Uh-huh.
if I'm searching a big family, I just only which resource is easy. I use Hans uh, and lexicon, but there is
Uh.
some. Is this the only resource for searching for the other families?
So do you understand how to use Hansware?
Yes.
Okay. So maybe we can do that. I can show you in the next like 2-3 minutes. I don't know if before we do that, maybe is there anybody else with another question regarding what we've just done before I show you the dictionary, how to look up all these words?
And sister, these big families are called Mazid fi.
Yes,
These are called Mazid fi,
yes. Big families are
and
called
and the
Mazid. Mm-hmm.
and the six families are called Mujarrad.
Yes. So
Okay.
yeah, like I mentioned, it could either be three root letters or four or five or six. So ثلاثي مجرد. These are restricted to only three root letters. But we just easily, for our own easy understanding, we just say mujarrad. And I'm going to also use those
Okay.
terms, so it's important for you to know them. So mujarrad, small
Okay.
families, mazid fihi, or thulathi, mazid fihi, big families. Okay, I think there's nobody else with a question there. So I'm just gonna go here and show you Hansware. So this is Ishtal.
So is this only resource which give us the surf of other like the detail of other big families, because it's sometimes it's very lengthy and you keep on going and going.
So we can use Al Maani as well. We can use Rivaso.
Okay, but with Almani, it's all in Arabic. Is there any option of
Let me show you. Do
translation
you
in
speak Urdu?
Almani?
You speak Urdu?
Yes, yes. Ji, ji.
Fantastic. Now let me show you. Gigi, huh? Okay. Fantastic. All right. I don't speak Urdu, by the way. Don't be like, I'm going to teach you this.
Okay.
I'm not about to speak Urdu right now. Anyway, so if you're using Al Maani, if you're familiar with this page, right?
Yes.
Okay. So normally, if you go to Al Ma'ajim Al Arabiya, this will be Arabic dictionaries only. You don't want to go there, okay? Unless you want to go there, okay? But here, you see where it's written Ibhat. This is where the search button where you search for stuff. If you go mm, to okay, no, I need to go back home. So you need go back home, and this is the home page. Now when you get to the home page, I haven't selected any dictionaries yet. So I come here. Now the dictionaries I use are Arabic to Arabic dictionaries. You don't want to do that
Okay.
because it's not easy maybe for
Okay.
you. What you can do is click on this button and it's going to tell you قاموس عربي إنجليزي. So this is
Mm.
Arabic to English, عربي فرنسي, Arabic to French, معاني الأسماء, just meanings of names, أقوال. Where is it? There's normally Urdu. Okay, so I need to probably,
And sister, are you using it on your computer?
yes, on my computer. You can use
Okay,
it
but
on your phone as well.
yeah, but the page I get on the phone is very restricted. It just has it doesn't have these all these options. I don't know all these other options like you are clicking these Kalimatul Quran, Muradifat, and Tahleel or Tasrif. It's
Hmm.
just I get to write the word. For example, let's say write Iktaraba,
There,
and then I
somebody
get the
was
meaning.
mentioning to me that if you check, there are three bars at the top. If you click on those three bars, it will take you to where you need to go. So basically for you, I think you go to Urdu and then you see now it tells you Arabi to Urdu. So if I type
Okay,
whatever,
okay, you can do it
Ajaba,
or English also.
yeah,
No,
or you can do
okay, let's
English.
try Iqtaraba. Iqtaraba. Please write
Yes.
Iqtaraba.
So if we write اقترب, okay, and then I click enter. I'm not going to be able to read Urdu, but قريب هنا. This is easy. But then I
Yes.
cannot read this next one. عن قريب.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Okay.
but it doesn't. We are just getting to know about the meanings here. And what about the grammar of
Yeah.
this abwab?
So the thing with Arabic to Urdu or any other language, if it's not Arabic to Arabic, it doesn't give you details. That's why I prefer to just stick with, I go to in Arabic, I stick to my
Okay,
dictionaries in Arabic, and then what I do, I usually select here Al-Ghani because it gives me rich meanings, like it gives you details
okay,
basically. So if I type
okay.
اقترب, اقترب, press enter. I say اقترب or no? اقترب. What happened? اقترب. There. اقترب. Yeah. So you see, it tells me اقترب. Root letter word is going to be
Okay,
in this
okay,
bracket,
okay.
and then it's going to be fair.
Okay, now I get it.
خماسي
Okay, so that's
لازم.
for translation. Okay, okay. Now I
So it
get
has
it.
to be in Arabic to get all these details.
Okay, okay. Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Sister, here we only can see the Arab, right?
Yeah. You can see the meaning as well, but you have to know Arabic a little bit.
So, yes,
Yeah.
yes, we can't understand the meaning then.
Yeah. So yeah, if for the meaning, go to the Urdu one, go to the English one. Yeah, different language if you know the different language. Turkish, Farsi, whatever. Yeah. But for the Arab, this one is easy. Like it will tell you like the jidr. It will tell you what kind of a word it is. Like here it's telling you it's a fi'al and it's khumasi lazim. Uh, that's just basically how they identify it. Yeah. And it can be
Mugati
start to
Bihar.
be fab. Yeah. So it gives you some good details. Yeah. And then you have Rivaso. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Rivaso. So if you go to Rivaso,
Yes, yeah,
yeah.
that's also very handy
Yeah,
resource.
this is very handy. And this is mostly, a lot of it can be in English, so it helps. So if you go to reverse, so this is the page will bring you. Then you go to conjugation, sarf, conjugation.
Yes,
And then,
yes.
of course, you pick Arabic.
But you have to in reverse, so you can only give three
Root letters.
letters.
Yeah, you have to
Yes,
know
yes. You
the
have to know the
Madi.
root letters for
Yeah,
that.
the root
Yes,
letters.
okay.
Yeah, so this one you probably say اقترب. You can still say اقترب. اقترب. And then it will give you options. So you see اقترب is there. You select اقترب. Then the format is a bit different. It's not like how we memorized. So they arrange it in terms of the active
Yeah, but we
part.
get to know though.
Yeah,
We can get to know the basic
yeah.
stuff.
If you experiment with this, you'll understand what is what and what is what. Okay. And of course, the hands where you have to now really know the root letters. Here, there's no Mazi business. There's no guessing. You have to know. If اقترب قارب, those are the root letters. You have to type قارب. If you don't know, you maybe go to other tool, put the word. It will give you the root letters. Then come back to hands where and put in the root letters, and then I'll just scroll for the word qaraba. So
Uh,
yeah, qaruba.
Inshallah, in future, Sister Ilham, I would
Yeah.
like you to please, like when we are done with some basic stuff,
Mm-hmm.
that how to read Hansware, because I can read the basic, I can find the word, but they're the small abbreviations.
Mm.
They I don't understand them. For example, like
I see.
something like here. Yes, the verbal nouns and verbal the huruf that are attached to it. That maybe with one or two words you can make us go through this.
Yeah, maybe later on we can do actually both Hansware and Lens lexicon. Lens lexicon is a bit more. You really need to know the the whatever these details.
They have very difficult English too also.
Yeah, but Hansware is a bit easy.
Old
For
English.
example, you see now this is the word qaruba yaqrubu. This is the word. So
Yes.
you see it's karuma yakrumu. Immediately you know the family. And then it means to be
Oh,
near. It can be used with ila, or it can be used to mean
with
to
men.
someone.
Okay.
So S-O someone, S-T-H something. So qaruba ila or qaruba min who is someone, or it could be it also. Yeah, so that's how it's used.
Okay. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And then of course now
Okay.
that's family one. It starts with family one. Okay. That's why I told you it's important to know uh, sorry. It's important to know the numbers because when you search a word in Hansware, it will give you first details about family 1. So all these are different meanings and usages of family 1. Then somewhere you will see this Roman numerals 2. See? So this tells you this, we are about to talk about allama now. Family 2, qarraba, to cause or allow something or someone. So this is an attached pronoun. Qarrabahu, someone. He came close to someone, or he causes someone to come close, like that. Then this is all about family 2, like that. Then you see number 3, that means we are about to talk about now family 3 now. Whatever comes after, family 3. Then you talk about family 3 like that. Then there's no family 4. So that tells you this word does not exist. There's no family 4 for this word. So you have family 5. Okay, like that. Then you have family 6. If there's more, they will give you more. Family 8, then family 10, like that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I get a bit of it now.
Yeah, actually it was me and Brother Aziz. We did an advanced session. It's in one of my YouTube videos. You can also check out the dictionary sessions that we did. I can reshare the post on the group, and you can check out. We did a comprehensive, talk on the dictionaries.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions for Sarf today? Let me bring back this up. So the idea is you need to practice the Sarf Kabir and Sarf Saghir for the first 10 families. Of course, then the 9th family, maybe that one you can skip because we didn't really look at it with Ustad. So skip that one. We'll talk about it later. So family 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Okay. So 9 families. You're gonna just be singing this stuff. So نصر ينصر نصرا فهو ناصر، نصر ينصر نصرا فهو منصور، الأمر منه انصر والنهي عنه لا تنصر، والظرف منه منصر ومنصر ومنصرة، والآلة منه منصار. You're gonna be singing this stuff. I want you to sing this stuff. Like, and then you finish نصر, you go to فتح, you go to ضرب, you go to علم. Sorry, you finish family 1 first. Then you go to كرم, سمع. All these families, get them down. There are a total of 14 different families. Okay, so small families plus big families, total of 14 families. Make sure you get it. If I say midrabun, you should know what I'm talking about. If I say muallimun, you should know what I'm talking about. If I say mustaghfarun, immediately. If I say inqilab, you should know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so get the sarf of this 14 families really, really well, because we cannot build on these 14 families if we don't know the 14 families. It's really important that this is at your fingertips. Like, you just know the families. Like, you could even be dreaming about them. You know them that well that you're dreaming about them. That's the only way we do Sarf. A lot of memorization. So I don't know, you can listen to the recording. If you're cooking, I think Ustad did a video, audios for this lesson, for these families. Plug the audios in, just listen them on a pool, like just keep them continuous until it sticks in your mind. Then we can build on the Sarf. All right, so that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to leave you because I can't really teach you how to memorize. You have to do that on your own. So what we're going to do next week, inshallah, is we're going to look at some implications of some of these families. Like, if a word is in family 2, what does that mean? If a family is in family 3, what implications does it have, and so on and so forth. And I got some of these notes from some of I think these were Access students. So Ustad actually gave them a little bit more than he gave us. So that's what we're going to look at, inshallah. Just something for you to look forward to. Any other questions or anything?
Do we have a class tomorrow for Sarf?
Yes, we do. Actually, yes, tomorrow. Sorry, we're going to look at this tomorrow. Forgot.
So we have to memorize by tomorrow. We have a whole week to memorize.
You can take the whole week to memorize, because we are going to look at this family implications. So yeah, you have a week.
You.
Yeah. All right. Alhamdulillah. If there's nothing else, we can end there. بارك الله لي ولكم في القرآن الحكيم ونفعني وإياكم بالآيات والذكر الحكيم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك، نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت، نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم.
السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام، جزاك الله خير.
وإياكم، جزاكم الله خيرا.